Now this is going to be a review for episode 8 of Attack on Titan. Now this episode starts out with Armin, Mikasa, and Connie being together, and they're willing to carry Armin simply because he gave his last bit of gas to Mikasa, so then, her and Connie could both, go off. And, they offer to pretty much carry him and everything, and he doesn't like being carried. He doesn't like the idea, I guess you could say, of his friends doing things for him and that kind of stuff. And he quickly comes up with this plan to use the Titan in the last episode that was attacking the other Titans to their advantage. And they're like, how? How are we supposed to use it to our advantage? And he figures, hey, if we take down all the Titans that are left around here, the only thing left for him to go is to headquarters and to take care of those Titans. And if he could take care of those Titans, then we could help, get everyone out, safely and everything. And in the meantime, Lian is still watching one of his comrades being eaten up. And then all of a sudden he realizes, hold on, while all of these Titans are all in this small area, while they're busy over here, why don't we just run to headquarters? So he ends up doing that. He ends up running off and telling everyone, follow me, let's go now. And before you know it, everyone's going with him. And when they actually get inside of it and everything, the first people that he see is these two people that were supposed to be there to help them, I believe for supplyment, of the fuel and everything. And he gets really mad at one of them for banning them, and they tell him, hey, there's a bunch of Titans down there. There's, what do you expect us to really do? And that's how things, start going. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, everyone's in there, and not too many people died. At least one guy died. And then all of a sudden, there's two Titans. They look like a couple, kind of. And they end up knocking a hole, and then everyone just runs. They're like, oh crap, there's way too many people here. We gotta get out of here because there's two Titans and they can end up getting a handful of us at a time. And, he starts, I guess, Lian just, stands there and he's just like, what is the point of us even trying anymore? Because, he actually starts realizing that, what he wanted before, to get away and be safe and everything and live, I guess you could say, kind of a happy life, was just a dream. It was just a dream. And it was not the reality of things. And he starts, realizing what's really going on. And that, what he thought, was what he wanted before really doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't. And as he realizes that, he actually, kind of admits to himself that, there's no point of even trying, to fight these things, really. And then all of a sudden, you see the fist of one of the Titan that's fighting the other Titans, punching them from the side of the face, and then knocks them across the ground, and they're both just, hit together and everything. And he gets very, very surprised, and then Mikasa and Armin and Connie all show up, and they explain to him, yeah, that one's been helping fight against all of the other Titans. And they get, very, very surprised, and everyone just has a wow look on their face. So anyways, everyone ends up going to the room where everyone else is, and Armin comes up with a really quick plan to help defeat all of the Titans very quickly and very swiftly that are in that room. And he figures, hey, since there's a bunch of Titans in there, and they're saying this square thing that's kind of like an elevator, but, has four sides that you can actually look out on, it's being lifted by, four ropes. And he figures, hey, why don't we just get a bunch of people in there, and they distract all the Titans while I don't know how they got there, but there's these boards or these big pieces of wood and everything towards the ceiling, and the other people will attack them from behind while they're being distracted very quickly and just kill them in just one big swoop. And anyways, Lian and everyone else, found a big stash of guns, even though they didn't have very much ammo or anything like that, and even though they weren't like super powerful or anything, it's still better than nothing. And they figure, let's just shoot them in the eyes, because it would at least do something to the eyes, and the gun smoke, it would blind them, or at least make it to where they can't really see anything. So as they actually get down there and everything, two of the guys, after a while, seeing one of the Titans' faces, they start shaking a little bit, and you can tell they're really, really scared and everything. And, as the Titan got to a certain point where its eyeball was about to literally touch the gun, it was so massive compared to the gun, it looked so tiny compared to the Titan. And as soon as all the Titans got close enough, they shot them all. They just started shooting, guns blazing in all directions and everything. And then that's when all the other guys came in and just killed them in one big swoop very quickly. Except one Titan, which is when Connie and Sasha kind of failed, I guess you could say, do their job or their part. I believe it was actually Connie, but it was a little bit of both of them that failed. And one of the Titans starts going towards them, or at least two of them, I think. And before you know it, Sasha, known as Potato Girl, she's like scared, so scared. She has this big fear look in her face, and she looked like she was about to seriously cry. And then right at the last second, when it looked like it was about to hit her or something, Mikasa shows up and takes it out. And Annie, known as the blonde one that was at the training ground, that was the really hard one that beat the two guys' butts and everything, she shows up, she takes out the other one, and they end up saving them two guys. And it's just like, and Sasha actually, ended up start freaking out, being like, oh, thank you so much, Mikasa. And she, Mikasa asked her, are you okay? And then she's like, yeah, thanks to you. Then get up. Get off the ground with your crying little sorry. But, yeah, and one thing I will say is that, when everyone actually got outside, Mikasa, I guess she got out earlier than everyone else. And everyone was just really happy because they were able to refuel and everything. And they're just happy to get everything that they've been needing to get for a long time. And that they all end up making in the end. And that was really great to see. I mean, probably a few people died before, but when they got inside and everything, everything went according to plan and everything. But anyways, Mikasa was on the rooftop and she was watching the other Titan, and then Armin joins up with her, and before you know it, everybody's with them up there on that rooftop. And the Titan that was fighting all of the other Titans literally has all these Titans all around it, pretty much dragging on it. I mean, really. And, just seeing, like, it just really taking a beating from all of those Titans. It was pretty bad. I mean, it ate his arms off, and they ate, like, around his rib cage, his lower stomach on one side, and everything. And all of a sudden, this one Titan shows up, and Armin immediately recognizes it, because it's the one that killed Thomas quite a while ago. And he really starts remembering it. And then all of a sudden, that one Titan that was covered in other Titans and everything starts charging at that one, and then literally bites into its neck and just kills it just by biting it in the neck and just snapping it and everything. And when one of the Titans tried to attack it from behind, it threw the Titan and hit that one, and they went into a building. And even though it didn't have arms, it didn't go without a fight, and just, yeah, it really fought until the end. And then, Lian, I guess you could say he was a little bit being hard because, all the other guys, when he was covered in all those Titans, was willing to, help him, or want to help him, so then they could, use that Titan as, as kind of like a comrade or someone to help them out. And that would be really, really helpful in the long run. And Leanna was like, a Titan is still a Titan, and just didn't really trust it. But, it was funny, as soon as that Titan, bit that last one and threw it at the other one and took them all out and landed on the, right before it landed on the ground, Leanna was like, what was that about helping it? And then that was when it hit on the ground. And, Leanne, was about to leave and everything, and the other people were about to join up with him. But then, he turns around and, he could tell that Mikasa and Armin are paying close attention to something, and they notice, some steam coming out, like, around its neck, like, where its weakness is and everything. And there's a hole. And it looks like there's something in there. And then before you know it, it's Eren. So we know he's alive, which I was pretty sure he was going to be alive, and it was going to be something like this, but there's still some explaining to do. But seeing that he's in there, and we can see that he has his arm and everything back, and, Mikasa immediately goes down there and, checks for a heartbeat on him, and she starts crying, but mostly just out of happiness to see, that he's alive, and he was the last piece of family that she had, and she's just so happy to see that he's alive and everything. And, what's his face? Armin, actually, when they got to the rooftop and everything, and Eren was up there with them, Armin's like, huh. It starts really wondering, how did he get his arm and his leg back? Because he definitely did lost them before, and he starts, really wondering what's happening and everything. But you could tell he's also just happy that, Eren's alive and everything. And that's kind of how the episode ended. So, it was a really good episode, and I will admit that, even though, most things were definitely good, there was at least two areas of the episode where there wasn't exactly any animation. They just had like a picture, kind of like a slideshow that was like a moving picture that was moving up or down the screen or left and right. They did that on one episode before, but they did it in two areas on this episode. So I don't know if, they didn't have enough money or if they didn't have enough time to do any animation there, but it's still, it still bugs a lot of people. You know, it's kind of weird to, you know, hear their voices but not actually see their mouths moving and any of that kind of stuff, or them, you know, interacting with each other when they were all babbling on when they were about to go down the elevator or whatever, and you know, seeing that picture just sliding. It's just I really, you know, the animation could have definitely been better in some ways, but there was a lot of character development. You know, Leon, you know, he's definitely becoming a leader, and also, you know, after they defeated those Titans and, you know, headquarters and everything, and starting to get their supplies, that guy complimented him again and told him that the main reason that he's, you know, a really good leader is not because he's strong. He's not strong, you know, like some of the other ones are, but he's weak, but he understands the weak and how they feel and everything, but he also has a great, you know, more realistic, you know, viewpoint and everything, so he can understand things better. So that was definitely good on character development. He started to realize things. He realized that, you know, what he thought as his dream before is just a dream. It's definitely not reality. He starts realizing the reality of things and what's really going on and everything. And again, Armin, you know, he came up with some plans pretty quickly. Like, it's pretty insane how quickly he came up with plans and everything, you know, and he could just make a really quick plan, you know, a very good one in such a small amount of time, you know, and all his plans went through, and that was really great to see and everything. So there was character development. A lot of stuff happened. It was great to see, you know, Eren's alive, and Mikasa was happy, and, you know, again, you know, I'm going to give this episode a 4.4 out of 5. I would give it a 4.5, but, you know, because of the animation and just those small little things right there, you know, I'm going to give it, you know, a 4.4. But overall, it was a great episode, and I really can't wait to see the next episode. There's a lot more explaining left to do. So thanks again, guys, for watching. I'm definitely going to do that review very, very soon for you guys, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.